The most corrupt president in the history of the United States has, we all know, accepted a huge palace in the sky to the tune of $400 million with Qatar. And just in 2017, during Trump 1.0, this is what he had to say about Qatar.
Has historically been a funder of terrorism at a very high level. And in the wake of that conference, nations came together and spoke to me about confronting Qatar over its behavior. So we had a decision to make. Do we take the easy road or do we finally take a hard but necessary action? We have to stop the funding of terrorism. I decided, along with Secretary of State Rex Tillerson, our great generals and military people, the time had come to call on Qatar to end its funding. They have to end that funding.
Okay, we get the picture. Here's what it takes to get Donald Trump to do whatever the fuck you want. You buy him nice things, you get him new toys, you give him money, you buy his meme currency, you buy his crypto, you buy his shit, and he will do whatever you want. Not to mention, it's going to cost American taxpayers about $100 million to bring the palace in the sky up to security clearance. And I am not convinced that there won't be some type of listening or surveillance device on this plane so that everybody on planet Earth can know all of the national security secrets of the United States, which I might add, all they have to do is get on Signalgate right now. I mean, get on Signal, text Pete Hegseth. There is no even remote consideration for national security. It's like, give me a toy, give me a toy. I want a toy. And here's the deal. He's not even trying to act like it's not a bribe.
If we can get a 747 as a contribution to our Defense Department to use during a couple of years while they're building the other ones, I think that was a very nice gesture. Now, I could be a stupid person and say, oh, no, we don't want a free plane. We give free things out. We'll take one, too.
Okay, here's the deal. Let's stop and just talk about that makeup for a minute. He looks like he's in liver failure. He looks more bright yellow than orange around now. So I wonder about that. But here's the thing. He is basically saying, I will do whatever you want if you give me a plane. And they are not donating it to the Department of Defense. They are giving it to Donald Trump. As soon as he's out of office, they've already said it's going to go to the Trump Presidential Library, which just the mere thought of that makes me throw up in my mouth. But this is nothing short of corruption at the highest level. And then when asked about this gift of a plane by ABC News, Trump bullies the reporter. Watch this.
President, what do you say to people who view that luxury jet as a personal gift to you? Why not leave it behind?
You're ABC fake news, right? It's only ABC. Well, a few of you would. Let me tell you, you should be embarrassed asking that question.
Okay, you should be embarrassed for the United States of America. Every American should be embarrassed. That is a legitimate question by a legitimate reporter saying the fake news. That's just, red meat to his base. Anybody that's not Fox is fake news. But how gross is that? What a bully. I mean, he is humiliating to every single American every single day. And here's the thing, even Ben Shapiro and Fox News are having a hard time with this. Here is Ben Shapiro, who has his lips so firmly planted on Trump's ass. Here's what he had to say.
Administration is now preparing to accept a super luxury Boeing 747-8 jumbo jet from the royal family of Qatar. It is a $400 million gift available for use by President Trump as new Air Force One until shortly before he leaves office, at which time, according to the deal, the plane doesn't stay with the United States government. It then moves to the Trump Presidential Library Foundation, taking sacks of goodies from people who support Hamas, the Muslim Brotherhood, Al Jazeera, all the rest. That's not America first. Like, please define America first in a way that says you should take sacks of cash from the Qatari royals who are behind Al Jazeera. It just isn't America first in any conceivable way. So back to the original question. Is this good for President Trump? Is it good for his agenda? Is it good for draining the swamp and getting things done? The answer is no, it isn't. It isn't. If you want President Trump to succeed, this kind of skeezy stuff needs to stop.
Skeezy. That's a real hard word for him, I'm sure. Here's here's the thing about draining the swamp. If you're Trump and his administration, you are the swamp. You are the incompetent, corrupt, people first. They don't give a fuck about Americans. This is good for Trump, and that's all he cares about. He is transactional. You don't want me to talk about you being a terrorist. You don't want economic sanctions. Give me something. What's the highest bidder? So right now, the highest bidder is a $400 million plane. What's next? Because I can guarantee you this is just a stepping stone to even larger corruption, because we know what's going on with the cryptocurrency and the meme coin. It's all foreign money. Okay, so even Fox News viewers are getting a slight bit of truth from a very odd source, Rand Paul.
Gimme, but and the Constitution in Article 2 talks about the president can't take emoluments or gifts from foreign leaders. And so there is a provision in the Constitution that says you can't do this. And so the question is, can you do it if it's only for official purposes? If it came to someone in Congress, they can vote and the Ethics Committee can look at it. With his, there will have to be some kind of adjudication. This has never been done, and it's not like a ride on the plane. We're talking about the entire $400 million plane. I think it's not worth the appearance of impropriety. Whether it's improper or not, I don't think it's worth it. The other problem with Qatar is, see, I've spent time trying not to sell weapons to Qatar because they have human rights violations of their people. Many of their people are prevented from participating in the government, and some of the minority religious folks in Qatar are treated poorly. And so I really haven't been a big fan, and I wonder if our ability to judge their human rights record would be clouded by the fact of this large gift. So I wouldn't.
Okay, here's the deal. Senator Paul, you should be worried about the human rights violations going on in the United States of America. Although admirable, stick close to home with the human rights violations. But here's the thing about this. Jesse Waters is smirking like, oh, he thinks it's a great idea. It's no big deal. I want to remind everyone, we have talked nonstop ad nauseum about Hunter Biden's artwork that he oversold, that he used influence to sell his artwork. And I mean, Jim Comer, we had to put him on life support. He was so fired up about it. And this man is sitting in the Oval Office, the most powerful office in the world. And not only is he tanking the economy, is he disrespectful, unprofessional, immoral, unethical. He is straight up corrupt. You can't sell it any other way. It's gross. It's disgusting. I know I say it more days than I don't. He needs to be impeached. Rand Paul is never going to do anything. He might get up there on Fox News. He's never going to do anything about it. It is disgusting. But you know what? I read this morning that the Trump administration has passed 5 bills. There's been 5 things that they've done. Other than that, it's been straws and executive orders and close the Department of Education and stop funding. There has been nothing good to come out of this. And now we find out, for proof positive, that Medicaid is on the chopping block. Put this up.
House Energy Committee releasing its portion of the reconciliation legislation late last night. The bill cuts from Medicaid and adds work requirements and more frequent eligibility checks.
Naturally, they don't want to increase the funding to do these eligibility checks. What they want to do is cut people off Medicaid, single mothers, low-income people, seniors. People need Medicaid. People need a social safety net, and the Republicans don't give a shit. And here's one thing that really struck me. You have Moses Mike Johnson, who's running around talking about the Bible. Jesus says he's Moses. He's so pure. God's on his side. As far as I can tell, he's breaking one of the commandments by sitting there and lying to the American people's faces over and over and over again about the Republican agenda. So if you'll show this.
We're not going to cut Medicaid benefits. We're not going to cut beneficiaries. We have said that over and over.
Are cuts to Medicaid, Medicare, and Social Security off the table?
Yes, and don't take my word for it, Kristen. Go do a word search of the budget resolution that we passed on Tuesday. There is not one mention.
Okay, Mike, You're a fucking liar. You, Mr. Hold the Bible up and shame people and be cruel and tell them not to be gay. You're a fucking liar and you're breaking the commandments. So you need to do something in a leadership position for people. I think over 40%, now don't quote me on this, but I'm almost positive, at least 40% of Mike Johnson's constituency in Louisiana is on Medicaid. This is the grossest part of the Republican agenda. Tank the economy and hurt the American people. It's so gross. We need to stand up. We need to fight against this. The resistance is building. We need to stick together. Subscribe to our channel for more news.